It's Shane here with for Seconds Out. I'm with Denzel Bentley and the entire team. I mean, where do we start? Well, let's start with you, Denzel.
Yeah, we're with the team here today. There's a few still missing, Adam and Eric, but we've got Ray, Andre, Martin here. We've had a good camp and we're ready to go tomorrow.
I mean, when it comes to the camp itself, I mean, you've got probably one of the most experienced teams in the actual card. So how much or how important has that been in terms of preparation? Because this is your biggest step up, to be honest.
Yeah, no, not just on the card, in British boxing in general. So I'm happy about that. It's been good for me. It's allowed me to learn from each and every one of them. If one misses something, the other picks up on it and corrects me. And I've been working with all of them, and it's been a good camp. So I can't complain. I'm happy where I am, and I'm happy with how camp's gone.
One of the things that's probably the most spoken about is the fact that you both got good power, you both have a lot of knockouts. So is that something that's been in camp, working on power and working to get a knockout? Because we know his loss was by a knockout. So is that something you've been looking for?
No, not really, because I'm not Liam Williams, innit? So I'm going to fight a different fight. I'm going to fight how I fight. We haven't been working on power because that's something that just comes when it's there. You see an opportunity and you take it. That's how you get knockouts. You don't work on power to knock people out. I don't know what they've been working on, but I can just only speak for myself and what my team have put me through in camp. So, yeah.
I mean, one thing you're known for, Martin, is the fact that you train a lot of come forward, aggressive fighters that's got a lot of power. But one thing with Denzel is he's probably one of the slicker ones you have in your camp. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that, but I think all of our fighters have all got different aspects to their game, and you haven't seen that in some of the other fighters. But I will agree with what you just said.
So bearing that in mind, is it important for you to go, you know what, I'm going to go in the fight to showcase his ability, but also you want to entertain as well?
It's an hard question to answer. I think obviously we want to entertain and we want to win the fight. So between us, we've come up with what we could sort of call a game plan. But as always in boxing, you have to make it up as you go along, and it will unfold. It could unfold different to how we see it, but hopefully we've covered all them posts. You know what I mean? Like Denzel just said. I mean, there's 3-4 of us in the gym at all times, and we all see different things. And lucky enough, where we're together every day, we all sing off the same hymn sheet, but we all pick up on different things. So we're lucky to have the experience of, as we just said, Andre, Ray, Adam, Eric, and you know, we're just very lucky at this point.
So Andre, obviously you've been in many camps. You've been part of Peacocks for centuries, it seems. So is it a case of, in terms of this particular fighter, what's your key responsibilities in terms of, obviously we know how much you're keen in the pad work and the pad work you do, so what's your main responsibility?
I'm there just the same as everyone else. We all help each other. We all work off different boys. Obviously Ray mostly with Denzel, Martin with Dan, and we just work between us, all of us. You know, we're all experienced trainers, and we all work together.
Which I feel is a good segue to you, Ray. Do you feel like you've probably been more hands-on with Denzel of recent? Like, how has he been in camp, and how have you tried to nurture him more, obviously for his big step up and his biggest fight? Like, how do you keep him in check in terms of mentally? Because that's probably the most important thing, because we know he has ability.
Well, it's been a good camp. It's probably been one of his best camps. He knows what he's got to do. We say little things, but he knows what he's got to do and how big this fight is. And, you know, he knows what he's got to do on the night. And like I said, there'd be no excuses. This has been probably one of his best camps. He's had some good sparring. You know, we've had some good kids in the gym, and I'd just like to say one thank you to Dudley O'Shaughnessy and Brian O'Shaughnessy and Dan Aziz for helping us out. Well, I think Dudley O'Shaughnessy, if he turned pro, he would raise a few eyebrows, because this kid's a good fighter. He's one of these kids who don't stop coming at you, and he's done loads of rounds with Denzel, and them spars are better than going to watch a fight. I'm telling you, on the night. So I've got to give a big thank you to Dudley, and he deserves that.
I did want to bring this up because one of the things that I personally, don't want to say worried about, but for lack of a better word, we're going to say worried about, is durability. He does have a decent amount of power, so is it on your mind about being durable because you're defensive, but if you get hit, like, have you thought about the response, or you're not thinking about getting hit at all?
Well, that's the game we're in, innit? So if I'm going to be fighting somebody, if you go swimming, you're going to get wet, innit? Yeah. But at the end of the day, I've got power too. I'm sure you see my record. So who's to say who hits harder? Do you know what I'm going to say? Has anyone asked him how he's going to react when I hit him? Do you know what I'm going to say? Everyone's acting like I'm just a feather-fisted fighter and he's got all the power and I'm here to get knocked out. I'm not here to get knocked out. I'm here to do what I'm going to do, and I'm here to win this fight.
Perfect. I mean, I'm going to give you just a last word with you. To be fair, we know how talented he is, and in terms of moving forward, we know there's a pandemic and we know how difficult it has been to get fight scheduled. But with such a big fight for you, do you feel like him moving forward is important for him to step up a level and be fast tracked because of how difficult it is in this environment?
No, I don't think that. I don't think that at all. I think this is the right fight at the correct time. I mean, obviously, a lot of people are saying it's too early, but I don't believe that. I mean, Denzel's been in the gym with us now. Like, when I say us, I mean us for coming up for 5 years. I mean, you don't see that. You only see the last few years that he's been coming through. I mean, Denzel's done hundreds of thousands of rounds, must be, with the likes of Ahmed, Patterson, Orville McKenzie, Alan Higgins. As he said, we've had Dan Aziz for this one. We've also had Dudley O'Shaughnessy, and we've also had Umar. So we've had some great sparring. I mean, the rounds that he's done for this have been tremendous. The work that he's done in the gym has been outstanding, I must say that. And you know, that's down to him, the effort that he puts in, not necessarily ourselves. We're just there to make sure that he's doing the work. And I don't think it's too early at all. I think it's the right time. But as I would say, we haven't had, or Denzel hasn't had the amount of fights that he's had. He's had, was he had 26? Yeah, 26 and one loss. But Denzel's learned in the gym, and whether the pandemic's here or not, it's immaterial. He's actually put the work in behind closed doors, not under the lights. So he hasn't been that fortunate, and we've not been able to get the matches for him over the last few years. And that's where we are now.
After the last fight, where do we go with him? We have to take these kind of fights now. You know, you've got to take them, because if after the Nick Hall fight, if we boxed anybody lower than Nick Hall, you know, he won't be going nowhere. So this fight, he's going somewhere if he can beat Mark Heffron. You know, it's a big fight. You know, and if he wins, we can see he goes into the big league.
I mean, just to finish it off, I'd get a prediction from everybody. I know it's a cliche with fighters and trainers, they don't really like to give predictions, but if you could, as good as of a prediction as you could.
Very entertaining.
It's going to be a great fight.
Definite win.
You know, we want our man to win, and I hope he does win. But as you say, let's hope the best man wins, and I think we got the best man.
Thank you all for doing this interview. I mean, pretty difficult to get you at times like this, but thank you very much for taking out the time to do it. So thank you, mate.